Alright, YouTube. My grandfather recorded this, and he wants everybody to know how we've been treated down here over legal issues and everything that can be proven, and he has proof of. And I told him that I'd put it on my channel for him. He's also having transcripts made and everything else, so here it goes. I think he sang this song at the beginning first. Yep. He's testing it out with his favorite song. 91-year-old, and he still sings all the wrong words to Amazing Grace, but we love him anyway. People.
One day he makes her spaghetti, it's so sweet to see. It's the best spaghetti in Alabama because it's so sweet. She's a good little cook and sweet Galilee. She's a blessing to her mama, don't you see? Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Today's date is February 6th, Sunday.
This is Rupert Brown. I'm 91 years old, and I've had a little trouble with the courts, and I just want to explain what went on. There was a man that run off the road. He was running over 90 miles an hour and lost control of his truck and went in the ditch, and my truck was parked in my driveway with my two grandchildren, two grandboys sitting in it, and he run into the broad side of it sitting in my driveway. Now, there's no law in Alabama says you can't park your truck in your driveway and you can't sit in the seat of your truck while it's parked in your driveway. It's off the road, and it wasn't in nobody's way. And he run in my truck and tore it up. And my grandson was sitting there, and they got out and they were talking. I said, Edward, I'm gonna call the law for a police report. And man, that guy, he got kind of wild, and he went and got in his truck and cranked it up, backed it up, tore it apart from my truck, and took off and left it and went to town in it. And it took me about 2 months to find out who he was and where he lived and all of that stuff. I think he was drinking. It looked like it. Maybe he was drinking, and I don't know. He's got a record. And I got his a picture of him, a DOB picture from a friend of mine that lives in Florida. Got it. They wouldn't give me up in Alabama. So I got a picture of that. Well, I took him to a small claims court, and the judge up there ruled it was all right for a man to run off the road and run into your truck and tear it up, and they disallowed me having any recourses. He took it during this time. He cost me a $12,000 lawnmower and a $5,500 lawnmower and a tore tore up truck. My truck has been tore up and I hadn't moved in 15 months, and I don't have no way to go. I have to hire somebody to haul me wherever I go, and I've had them haul me. I've had 3 doctors in Mobile, and altogether in a year's time, they carried me down there over 2,200 miles, and it's a shame that a man 90 years old can't have a little bit of rights in his life. And that judge, I believe, him and Kenny Freeman, their lawyer teamed up to knock me and my grandson out of a lawsuit. My grandson had a lawsuit for getting hurt and having to go to the hospital and take treatments on his neck and back. And my truck was all tore up, and I lost a lot. I had 29 mowing jobs, and I got right at $29,000 a year out of it. And I divided that up between both of my sons and me. Each one got $1,000 a month, and I paid the lawnmower payments of $220 a month. And when we got knocked out of that, I only make $920 a month Social Security, and that's what I live on. And it's pretty hard to pay your light bill and your telephone bill and your water bill and your insurance and live off of that. And that judge, he don't have no considerations for nothing like that. And I don't know, he didn't want to hear nothing. And when we went to court, their lawyer only asked me one question. He said, "Do you see anybody in the courtroom here that was driving that truck?" And I said, "Yeah, the man sitting there beside of you," and that's all he ever said. And I testified for about 20 minutes or maybe 25 minutes, telling me exactly. I was standing there watching the whole thing and telling what happened. And the other guy, the only thing I heard him say, well, he got his little bit of bend on his bumper, and the truck's got 2 damaged doors, one of them completely damaged, hood is messed up, and a broken windshield, the right fender is tore up, the light's knocked out of it, the radiator's busted, the batteries must be busted. You can't get in there to check it out unless you tear it apart and get a pry barn to get it open. Then the steering wheel is busted, and the tie rod's messed up, and the front bumper's tore up, and the grill's tore up. And that judge, he said it was all right for them to tear up my truck and not pay for anything. I don't know. I believe he got paid off to rule that way, because when he killed my case, it killed the other case, and there was 2 cases against that insurance company, and it's all right with him to do that. And he said, you can disagree with me and get another court thing. And I tried to get a court thing, and every time I'd go up there, they wouldn't let me have it. They disagreed. They said, well, you got to have a lawyer and $500. And I went and got $500 and went back up there and talked to a lawyer. And the lawyer said, I can't go up there now, but I'll call them if they need to talk to me. And I'll go back up there, and they refused to take that. Then I went back up there and on the Thursday before Christmas, and I had everything ready to fill out the papers and everything for it, and they refused me of it. Said, well, Kenny, I don't know where he's at, and he's got an office right there, and he don't maintain it like he should. He look like me when he leaves out of there. He should have the secretary or something to stay there, watch over his business while he's got to go in the courtroom, and I don't see what business he got in the courtroom just sitting there watching trials. He should be in his office doing his work. And so and I couldn't get a hold of him, and I called him on his telephone right there in the courthouse, and he said, "This is Kenny Freeman. I'm out. I'll leave your name and your address, and I'll call you when I get back. I'll be out of the office till the Tuesday after Christmas." That was about 6 days, so that prolonged it. I go up there the 6th day after Christmas, and he's in court, and the girl said she couldn't get him out of court there to fix the papers, and he just refused me every way I went, refused me of getting that. Then he said, "The time's run out, you can't get it." And I said, "No, it ain't." And he said, "Well, I'll go down and talk to the judge," and he was gone for about 5 minutes. He come back, and the judge said he disallowed it, that it's going to stand like it is, and it ain't right. I tell you, then they put me on food stamps and Meals on Wheels, and I shouldn't have to be on there. I always made my own living, had a good living. Raised 4 children, 3 boys and a girl. Sent them all to college and got them all good jobs. And I took care of my family, and there's something going wrong with that judge again. I believe he got paid off from that court to keep from having 2 trials, and they knew that they were guilty, and I want something to done about it. All I wanted, I asked for a jury trial, and they refused me of having it.
There's more. I asked them, I said, "I'm 91 years old. Has any of y'all got your daddies or granddaddies 91? What do they do when that night comes? They want to watch TV. He's got me cut down so I can't even afford my TV, and I hadn't seen TV in 3 months going on now. And that's a shame that I'll be treated this here way, and they just, there's something went wrong on there somehow, and they refused to tell me why he judged it that way. Reversed the thing when at first, the first hearing that we had, he allowed me $14,000 to fix my truck. The next year, and he cut me out of that, and it's been that way back and forth, and I don't know. I just got me bumfuzzled. I hadn't slept in 3 months. I lay here at night all night long. Sometimes I don't close my eyes, wondering what to do. How am I going to pay my payments? And this and that, borrowing from this bank to pay that one and that one to pay the next one. It ain't right, and I was doing good. We was making our payments, and everybody was happy till that man run into my truck and tore it up. And it won't run. It hadn't run in 15 months. I have to hire my granddaughter or somebody to take me back and forth to Mobile to the doctor and over to Linden to the courthouse and to Camden to the doctor over there, and to go to get a little bit of groceries twice a month. And he just don't realize the damage that he did to me and my family. My grandson's
wife has had a stroke, and she had to have a hole cut in the top of her head and remove a blood clot, and it paralyzed her, and she got a hole cut in her throat there where she can't talk. And my grandson, he has to stay with her 24 hours a day, and he feeds her with a tube, he gives her medicine. He has to, if she gets clogged up with any flame, he has a machine there to suck that out so she won't suffocate. And when she gets that, if you don't get it out right quick, it don't take a person about 3 minutes and they're dead. And he's took care of her for over a year now, and he has to change her messy diapers and put new and wash her up and wash her privates and all of that stuff. And I don't know how the boy's doing it, and he's just about to the end of the road doing it. And that judge and them, I guess they're like a lady that works for one of the law offices down in Mobile told me, she said, I know the insurance woman and I know that lawyer, they got Colin, know him, and said at your age, they're sitting up there in a tree waiting on you to die so they could fly down there and pick the meat off of your bones. That didn't sound too good to me, and I believe she's right about it. And I want something done. I want a jury trial so I can have an honest, straight jury trial. If the jury rules one way or the other, that's better 6 men a rule, but more accurate than one man that might be paid off. I can't say what was or what, but it's all indications that there was money involved in there for him to close that case down, and 2 cases down like he did, and I want something done about it. The man that was involved that's run into my truck's name was William Kennedy Gibson. He lives at 1714 East in Linden, Alabama. 36784. 36748. And he's the one that run into my truck, and the judge's name is Vincent Vincent Dees. He's a district judge, and I've seen him handle several cases, and some of them looked all right, and some of them didn't look all right. And the next one is Kenny Freeman. Kenny Freeman is a circuit, let me see, I have to have a glass to read anything anymore. Kenny Freeman is Marengo County Circuit Clerk, and his telephone number is 334-295-2224. And always had these somebody that would stand up and want the truth done in court instead of getting paid off or doing it dirty. Because I know good and well, the man that run into my truck is 100% in the wrong, and the judge he didn't care. I think the reason he wanted to stop my trial because he stopped my grandson's trial at the same time when he killed mine. My grandson had a suit out on him for damage in his neck and back, and he had been in the hospital with it, and taking treatments. But the judge, he don't care. As long as he can sit up there and eat beefsteaks and a good tomato salad, he's happy, and draw a big salary, and he don't have no recourse to it. And most of the people that goes up there are scared to say anything to him because they're scared he wants to put them in jail. I sat in that courtroom and I seen 27 colored boys come up there before him. He fined 26 of them $375 or 375 days. And I don't know what it was for, but if it was for dope or something like that, that's probably what it was for. It looked like me he could have a service on Saturday morning for about 4 hours and bring them all in there and teach them what that dope would do to them. That's what they do in a lot of towns, but no, he's after that money. He wants the almighty dollar. And then one man come in there and raise natural sand with him right in the courtroom for him, doing him the same way he did me. So I ain't the only one that's got a complaint against him, and maybe we can get something done. I don't know. I'm making this here tape here, and I'm gonna have it transcribed to paper, and it's going all over the state of Alabama to the governor's office and all of them up there, and to every church that's in Linden and Annapolis and Thomasville. They all gonna know what kind of a judge we got and what kind of a man that's agreeing with him. I went up there 4 times to get they said I could appeal his case, but every time I'd go up there, there'd be something he had to do this or do that. He couldn't show up, and finally I went there one day and I went over there and he come up there to that office and I said, I want to get a jury trial. He said, you can't get one. And that colored lady there said, no, you can't get one unless you got a lawyer. Who needs a lawyer? You got the right to defend yourself. And he said, you got to have $500 and a lawyer. So I go back to Thomasville and I talked to a lawyer. And he said he's busy, he can't go back up there with me, but they can call him. And I got $500 and went back up there. And when I went back up there, they refused me again. So then I went back up there on a Thursday before Christmas. The trial was on the 14th of December, and I went up there on Thursday before Christmas, and that one said, I don't know where he's at, he ain't in his office. And I got on the telephone right there in her office, and I called his office, which is right across the hall from her, and he answered the phone on a tape recorder. He said, this is Kenny Freeman, leave your name and your address and I'll call you, but I'm going to be out of the office till next Tuesday. Well, on next Tuesday, I went back up there, and she said, he's tied up in court all day and I can't go get him. So I said, that was the end of it. I just got fed up going back and forth from my place up there and back, because 70-some miles back and forth. And I don't know, it's something I'm going to find a lawyer or something that wants to take this case, and any of the lawyers here that's interested in me going any further, they can question me, they can put me on a lie detector test, they can do anything they want to. And I wish they could if they could put Kenny on lie detector test, and that judge on lie detector test, and that Cole and that lawyer she's got, and the insurance woman. She wrote me a letter and told me she was wanting to settle my case, and the judge wouldn't even read her letter. That case there with that lawyer's confliction of interest, and he was biased. I know it. He didn't like Edward because him and Edward had a case in the court when he was a assistant prosecuting attorney, and he was representing a boy that was a thief and a drunk and stole a bunch of stuff from Edward, and Edward got on to him about it, and he went and had Edward arrested for harassing him. And when Edward had to go to court, I went with him, and the judge asked him, Edward, did you harass him? And he said, yes, sir, if that's what you want to call it. I was trying to get my tools and stuff back that he stole, because the woman next door to him knew him and knew what a rogue he was, and the lawyer for Jimbo Loper, who it was, the state's attorney, assistant state's attorney, and
DA.
and he talked the judge into finding my grandson $1,800 and giving him 5 years in the pen. Well, that ain't for harassing somebody. That's outrageous. That ain't even right. And a couple days later, he reduced it to $1,800 and 2 years of probation. Well, that's over with now. Edward didn't have the money, and he done paid him $800, and I finished it out, paid him so much a month till I got it paid for. So there was some bad ground between them, and he knew Edward was sitting in my truck when it got hit. So I think altogether he killed 2 cases at one time. Edward got hurt when he hit my truck doing about 40 miles an hour, and he had a case, and I had a case, and they all went to the same company and everything, and he could have settled the thing if he would have, but no, he wanted to set that insurance company free. And I know in my heart and soul, and I'll go to my grave knowing that he got some green stuff out of that there, judging like that. Because he come back there to where I was standing up, and he patted me on the shoulder after the case. He said, "You're a pretty good lawyer." Well, I took that as a bump on the shoulder, and I don't know why he said that. Then he went on, and he didn't have a court recorder in that courtroom, and he should have had a court recorder in there so that they could record everything that judge said and everything I said and that man said. He didn't say much. All I ever heard him say is, well, he got a little bend on his fender, so that tells you he knew something right there. So some bad stuff went on during that thing, and because I was up there, and the last time I went up there was after the 4th of January, and Kenny wouldn't. I said, Kenny, the time you didn't give me no time written on a paper or anything to tell me how much time I had to appeal this thing. And I said, it ain't run out because you can't count Christmas and you can't count them 6 days that you took off that nobody could reach you. And he said, well, let me go down to the judge's office. And I should have went with him, but I didn't. And he went down there, and he wasn't down there in 5 minutes. He was back, and he said, the judge said he's just going to let it lay like it is. Of course he's going to let it lay like it is, because he might have had to give that money back. I don't know if he got any or not, but it was mighty fishy about it. And I want the public to know what kind of judge we got in this county, and he should have his license. He should be debarred from the judgeship there and take his license away from him and put him out there digging ditches like I would if I was young enough. I can't do a job at 90 years old, and I have to depend on other things, and when he took my livelihood away from me, he took everything away from me, and I don't even have TV now. I had to have it cut off on account I couldn't afford the $89 $79 a month for Cablevision, and so I took that and I lay here in bed with the lights off, just thinking of what's the next move that I could do to try to get back on my feet. And I'm not gonna give up till somebody's gonna pay for that thing one way or the other. And I appreciate everything that anybody can do to help me. And I don't have much money to fight him with, but I'll try to do the best I can. And I never had to ask anybody for a dime in my life, and I still don't want to. But when you don't have the money to put $4 or $5 in the plate at church, that don't look good on you. And he just didn't treat me right, and it wouldn't have been a dime out of his pocket to make a judgment there so that I could get my truck back rolling and go back and I'd have to hunt new jobs again. We had 29 mowing jobs, and we thought maybe we could increase it to about 50 the following year. And so far we can't do nothing because my truck's been tore up. I can't get it fixed. I don't have no $14,000 to fix it. But I don't know, we get by somehow. The good Lord will look after you. He said he would provide for you, and I pray that he will. And I'll talk to y'all later, and God bless you.
Maybe it. I don't know. Maybe more.
There's one more thing I'd like to say. I'd like to ask that judge if his wife was parked in his driveway with his 2 children, if he's got any children, and a truck run into the side of it and damaged one of his child and tore his wife's car all up. Was that all right? If it was all right for her, for whoever run into it, if it was all right, I'd like to ask him that question. And if I had the right to put Kenny Freeman on a lie detector test and ask him, did he refuse me of a jury trial, and see what he says, and make him swear in that whatever he says, it would be the truth, and he couldn't tell it. And that judge too, and both of them is bound together, and that lawyer, and if something went wrong, and I've talked to